Welcome into To Your Health. And we're going to have a fun time today because we've got Carl Schmidt with us from the Herb Shop. And you know what? There is a lot to herbs. God created them. They're good. And Carl, we're going to talk about something today. I would like for us to talk about prerequisites. In other words, check with your physician to be very, very sure. And then let's talk a little bit about vitamin D today because we're hearing a lot about it. And I'd like to have some guidance from you.
Great, great. Well, definitely people need to check with their doctor, and vitamin D levels can be easily checked on blood work. And most people run low on vitamin D.
True.
And vitamin D, of course, is synthesized from the sun, and many foods have vitamin D, but many people are confused as to what foods are safe as far as other medications or other health conditions. For example, vitamin D is very present in eggs. And eggs are very healthy for us, and there's a lot of misunderstanding about eggs, but the yolk of the egg, particularly when cooked over easy, a soft egg, delivers a lot of vitamin D.
Oh,
and
good.
it's contrary to what cholesterol myth is about. So vitamins D are also in certain fish, in deep water, cold water fish can deliver a lot of vitamin D. So there's good sources for that, but often we need to supplement with a supplement vitamin D. And there's D2 and D3, a little nuances to that. And then what's actually checked in the blood levels isn't available in supplement form, it's a conversion. And there's genetics that are involved. And we have actually genetic tests that we can see if you're more prone to have a weakness in synthesizing vitamin D. So there's a lot of characteristics to that. And then too high a consumption of vitamin D could interfere with phosphorus levels, kidney function, and so I'm really against a real mega dose at any given time, but more of the slow and steady approach.
Well, may I ask you this? Number one, two questions. Which do you think is better for just everyday people like me, the vitamin D3 or the 2? And what is a good benchmark dosage? I hear so much about that, and you know, you don't know if it's 1,000, 5,000, 10,000.
Right. Well, the good dosage is generally 1,000 to 5,000.
Okay.
I like for vitamin D, it could have other fat-soluble vitamins. Vitamin D is a fat-soluble. As I mentioned, the egg yolk, it's kind of a fatty substance, and that goes back to the cholesterol. And that's the problem with cholesterol medicines is they lower fats, so they lower the vitamin D. So they're contraindicated to take a cholesterol medicine and trying to raise your vitamin D levels because it's a steroid, cholesterol. So I like D3 primarily. It's the most bioavailable and most active form. Certain B vitamins complement, particularly B vitamins in their more advanced forms or cofactor forms called methylated forms. So methyl 12, methylfolate, those improve how the D gets synthesized in the liver. And it's a clue that the liver could have issues when a person say they're taking, I always take every day, day in and day out, 1,000 up to 5,000 D, and their D doesn't move. It could be a clue that they may need to investigate liver function. They could have non-alcoholic fatty liver, and common over-the-counter medicines like Advil, Tylenol, many pain-relieving things can make the liver compromised. And diabetics with sugar and A1C or triglyceride levels could mean that the liver can't necessarily do the function of taking a supplement D and getting blood level Ds up.
The best source of vitamin D, let me ask you this, would it be God's natural way, sunshine?
Well, sunshine,
or is any method better than another?
Well, the diet, like I said, the foods, we often have misinformation. We need to eat those eggs and fish. And we need to get a certain amount of sunlight, preferably earlier in the day and late in the day, and not so that we don't damage our skin at the same time. Generally, short sleeves, shorts, getting some sun exposure on your arms and legs, 20 minutes a day when weather permits is a good recommendation. And it's, as I said, it's very easy to get blood levels. We even have a home kit that we sell in the store for vitamin D testing. So it just is a little finger prick, and we send it to the lab and get the results in about 4 days. So we can tell, there's lots of ways to check vitamin D.
Does sunscreen interfere?
It can interfere, yes, because it's how the skin affects those rays and converts the sunlight into vitamin D in our body. So it does reduce it some, yes.
What is the effect on the immune system?
Well, vitamin D plays a big part in how the immune system goes through its path and what it does. Our immune system has what we call our innate or acquired immune system. So it's a learning process of recognizing what is an invader and how to more quickly assemble an attack and clean up the mess after an attack. And so vitamin D is very critical in how that process functions and how cells do their normal function to identify that there's an invader or to identify that a cell needs to go through cell death called apoptosis. So it plays a big part in a lot of chemistry throughout the body.
So the takeaway is that vitamin D is really, really good for you.
Yes.
And try to get as many good sources as you can.
Yes.
And Carl, thanks so much, because I believe in everything that God made.
Yes.
You also be sure, and Carl will warn you, check with your physician.
Definitely.
Be sure that you're all on the same page. And thanks so much for being with us, and we'll be right back.